Right, we're here, boys. Bumper week of boxing number 2. We're just fresh off the back of Eubank Jr. and Conor Benn. We've got 3 massive cards to get stuck into this weekend. This one's Friday night. We've got Friday night, Saturday night, and Sunday night. The only drawback for us here in the UK is that they're all on US time zone. But look, I'm sure we'll be there or thereabouts as we are for these big cards. So we'll start in New York, Times Square, then on Friday night. We're going to get those boxed off this evening. We'll sort the rest out later in the week. So Teofimo Lopez defending his WBO Super Lightweight World Championship against the undefeated Arnold Barboza Jr. Coming off a career best win against Jack Catterall on away soil last time out in Manchester. Big win over Jose Ramirez, who also features on the card against Haney on Latino night. He beat him. Teo, he's been up and down, hasn't he? If we're being completely honest, one good performance, one not so good. I think he was last out against Claggett. Looked great against Josh Taylor. Jermaine Ortiz didn't look, he's been up and down. Obviously, just a sole loss to Kambosos down at lightweight. I'm intrigued by this fight. I personally think that this is the best fight on the card on Friday night. I know it's a 3-fight card, but they're 3 fights with good names on them if you want. Obviously, I prefer to see the likes of Teo, Ryan, and Haney matched up together rather than in other fights. But we're looking to get the rematch, aren't we, between Haney and Garcia in Riyadh in October. So, but I like this fight. I like it a lot. I'm surprised Teo took it, to be honest. The rumor was forever that he was going to vacate and move up to welterweight, wasn't it? Turkey keeps talking about this Ennis fight for him boots.
Silly move.
Yeah, boys, give me your thoughts on it. I know where I'm going with it. I'll give my thoughts straight afterwards. But this is the fight I'm looking forward to most, as I just said. I think it'll be a good one. This. Yes,
I'll let you go. Do you want to go first, Liam?
Yeah, cheers, mate. I think the reason I'm most excited for this fight is because Barboza Jr. proved to us what he's about in February against Jack Catterall. We've always said that he looks like he's got the talent, but he's never looked like he's applied it fully in the ring during a fight. Well, he's done that in February, didn't he, against Jack when he picks up the interim title, and then 10 days later he's getting announced for this. I mean, that's when you know a fight is hungry and he's feeling himself. He's come out of a tough 12 rounds within 2 weeks. He's got another fight booked, and we're in a Barboza Jr. fight week again. Teo Lopez's career is frustrating as anything. The night he beat Lomachenko, he looks amazing. The night he beat Josh Taylor, he looks amazing. Steve Claggett fell asleep, being honest, watching that fight. Kambosos had a massively off night and lost his belts in a huge upset. It just seems to be no middle ground with Lopez. He's either up here or down here. So it really is a question of how much does Teo actually care about boxing anymore? We know he's got a lot of issues in his life that take up a lot of his time and explain or account for, rather, some of the erratic behaviour and comments we see from him, not excusing them at all. He's got a young, hungry kid in front of him again. And the last time he had a young, hungry kid in front of him when he was a champion, that was George Kambosos. And look what George done to him that night. I'm all on board for Barboza Jr. now after questioning him before. And I'm excited, boys. I think if Teo turns up and Barbosa's at the level we know he can get to, we're in for another barnstormer fight of the year, potentially contender. But there is a part of me that feels like Teo's off the boil. He's got his eye on other things for whatever reason, and Barboza can make it look relatively comfortable.
Yeah, I can't disagree. I mean, Barboza is coming off a career best win. Teo fights in spits and spurts. We saw that, was it the Sandor Martin fight where he questioned himself whether he still had it, and then he'll turn up and look $1 million. He's been pissing around in the build-up. He's been messing around a bit in the build-up. I know he's a bit of a joker, but there's just something about Barboza for me. I think he's the real deal. He came into the Lions' Den and look, let's be honest, not many people give him a chance of winning that fight, really.
No.
Everybody thought that Jack Catterall, coming off performances that we've seen him come off before, we just thought he'd have a little bit too much for Barboza. And Barboza went into Lions' Den and didn't get gifted a win. He beat the guy in his own backyard. And
it's a great win.
I'm high on him. And I just think he's got everything and all the attributes to cause Teo problems. I don't believe Teo's a 140 or 147. I think he's a 135. I think he's comfortable at 135. I believe that's where he should have stayed. I think the only reason he's moved up is to do with him getting beat and blaming it
Power's
on.
not there at 140. I've been.
He's not a 140. He's a small dude, man.
He isn't knocking people out at 140.
He's a small dude. I know he's the same size as Barboza, but Barboza's thicker set. Teo's right thin and lean at the weight. Yeah, for me, I think Barboza wins this fight. I think he takes a UD. I think Barboza takes a UD for me.
So two picks for Barboza.
So far,
yeah.
I'm gonna agree with you boys. I honestly think he beats him. I know I'm surprised we've all gone Barboza here.
So first, I think
if Ryan wins boots, look, I love that fight. Derek's in the house as well as Pat and Jams. Thanks for joining us, guys. TOUD for Pat as well, going against us who know nothing, boys. We're terrible, so don't blame them. I think that Teofimo Lopez is way too inconsistent. Look, he's way more talented than Barboza. I don't think anyone can dispute that. I think he switches off for periods of fights. Look, I don't think there's any. Jams has gone the same as well. That's interesting that those three are TOUD. I don't think it'll be UD. I think it'll be very close. I think Barboza might steal a split, but whether he gets it on the cards or not is a different.
That's the problem. It's
if it's close, I'll be surprised if Barboza gets it. Look, I honestly just think he's the more consistent fighter. I think his run at the moment and his form and momentum and his activity, I think it needs to be mentioned as well. Teo last fought, I think, last summer against Steve Claggett. Barboza has had 2 fights since then against Jack Catterall and Jose Ramirez. There's no way that he's the form fighter in that ring on Friday night. People need to remember that.
And he's got. Sorry to just cut you, but just going back to one of the comments there that Pat said about levels. Look at the opponents. So Teo bumbles and stumbles past Claggett, and Barboza's going up the levels. Do you know what I mean? He's gone up the levels consistently, and he's getting better with each performance.
So this for me will be every performance.
Yeah. And that's what's done it for me. We've seen the best of Teo, but we've never seen it again. He's never pulled out the performances that got him to the dance. He's always just sort of bumbled along. He needs to pull it out of the bag, because if he does not turn up on Friday night or Saturday night or whenever it is, he's going to get his ass handed to him. I'm sticking with my initial pick.
Oh, I like it. Hand history vault, hope you well. 750 on Barboza.
Nice.
We've got Jin Ryu Jr. in the house. So Bob, I think Barboza winner. This is why. Bob been on a hot streak, performed better than Teo. Personally, look. I mean, that makes.
That's what I've basically just said that. Yeah.
That's exactly where I'm at with it as well. Jim, thanks for your comment. Yeah, the Sandor Martin fight as well. He got dropped in that, didn't he? I forgot about that.
Yeah.
He's inconsistent. Look, if Teofimo Lopez on Friday night performs to the best of his ability, Teofimo Lopez will beat Arnold Barboza Jr. But I think there's more possibility of Barboza winning based on his consistency. You know what you're going to get out of Arnold Barboza Jr. on Friday night.
Yeah.
I have no idea what Teofimo Lopez is going to turn up. So for me, I'd rather back the guy that I know what he's going to do. Whereas
he's more consistent. He's more consistent. If Teo is off the boil within 6 or 7 minutes of the fight, you know what's going to happen. He just sort of cruises and thinks that he's just got enough to get out of the way and pop shot. Barboza will be on him. So if he's not on it, that's why I think Barboza will win, because I just think he will be more consistent in his performance. Teo blows hot and cold, and he can't afford to blow hot and cold.
Definitely. It's a good point, this as well, Jay, that Jim's made. Obviously, it's a Ring Magazine card, just as the Eubank Ben fight was last week. And the cards were good at Tottenham last week. I don't think there was any real problem with any of the judging on any of the fights. I think they were all pretty solid.
It was all right.
So, at the end of the day, maybe Barboza, if it's close, maybe he does get it, So there is a.
Well, I'm an old romantic, and I'd like to think that the right decision is given, but we know what goes on. We know that fighters are favoured and home fighters and all that nonsense, but.
We didn't think Barboza would get his hand raised in Manchester.
We didn't.
Not because we didn't think he won the fight, but unfortunately, the reputation that our boxing board.
We were going, please give him the decision because he won.
Yeah.
Not because we wanted Jack Catterall to win, obviously, but he didn't win the fight. Arnold Barboza Jr. won the fight. He finished the fight better. And we were going, Catterall's going to get that, isn't he? That's what he didn't. So, look, I agree with you. But that's interesting. A good divide on that fight. Thanks for the interaction, guys. And the,
cheers, guys.
As always. And thanks to Jay and Liam. for
Thank
joining me. There were jams. I think there was good. It's a ring card again, so there's no reason to suggest that the cards won't be fine again on Saturday night. Hand history vault. So I agree with that. But yeah, we're back in 2 minutes for Devin Haney against Jose Ramirez. If you fancy joining us, guys, appreciate everybody as always, and we'll see you shortly.